Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of B is for Build. So to catch you up on my Mark IV Supra rebuild, we got this car from Japan. We did a little bit of work on it, repairing a fuel pump to make sure that the engine runs and runs strong. Then we got rid of all the bad metal and the damaged areas from the crash damage. And in today's episode, we're gonna be working on rebuilding all of the front end structure. I have all the pieces that we need to bring this car back to OEM metal and all of the front end. We're gonna rebuild all the front end while we're working on the rear quarter panel replacement as well. Stay tuned. Before we get down to work, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is the leading online employment marketplace that connects employers with job seekers. And ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire because ZipRecruiter uses its very powerful technology to find and match candidates with your job. Within its user interface, you can easily review the different candidates and invite those candidates that you choose to apply for the position. It has a very complete, complex set of tools to help you rate and filter and review all of the candidates that apply for your position. And that's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. In my opinion, life is a lot more fun working with good people. B is for Build was fun on my own, but it's a lot more fun with Kyle and Oscar by my side. Those are people I really depend on, and you can find great people for you to depend on and have more fun working with at ZipRecruiter. If you own a growing business and it's time to hire, ZipRecruiter makes the job so much easier because they do the work for you. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/B is for Build. The link is right here on the screen. It's also at the top of the description. Again, that's ziprecruiter.com/B is for Build. Huge thanks for sponsoring this episode. Let's get down to work. The obligatory front end shot to start the episode. I gotta get all these body panels off here. I got Kyle helping me. We're gonna go ahead and pop everything off. So we're down to the bare steel and we can start looking at our replacement parts. As Chris Fix would say, out with the new and in with the old. All right, time to get started on the repairs. So this is a Toyota factory lower subframe, lower core support replacement piece. This is a replacement metal that you can buy from Toyota. I'm not sure if it's discontinued or not. I bought this from Michael, who also sold us our quarter panel, which you'll see a little bit later. But this is a brand new piece from Toyota factory. And I think since this is the most structural piece and everything, it's the most important to go in first. So I think we're probably gonna be working from the bottom up. So you guys remember when we were cutting, I did not want to cut too much. And as I expected, I did not cut too much. We need to be spot weld drilling out here and here and here, and then there's some huge bolts for the toe hookup points right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those spot welds and those bolts, and that'll take this section out, and I gotta do the same over here, and then this piece will be able to test fit right back in where that piece came out from. I finally got the piece off. That took like 2 hours to get this piece off of here. There's not that many spot weld drill bits or drilling, but I went through a few drill bits and it is just a pain, total pain. But got one piece of the puzzle done, one piece off. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up, but I'm gonna move on to over here. Let me show you what the guys are up to. The guys have been working on this quarter panel. I'll show you the progress that they made, but I wanna give a shout out to Michael over at Elsie's World. It's a YouTube channel. I'll have a link in the description. He gave me a really good deal on this quarter cut. This is one of the hardest pieces to source for a Supra restoration. If you have quarter panel damage, lots of people do, you need to repair it, you want OEM, and they don't make this anymore. Supra or Toyota has this discontinued. So they fetched top dollar. He gave me a great discount, and it's not just the quarter panel, it's the quarter cut, which means we're gonna have some of the pieces that we need for our back end as well. So shout out to Michael for hooking us up. He's got some great Supra content and drifting content on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. Now the guys have already done some drilling on this. Let me show you the progress. So you use the donor panel basically as your learning point, I feel like, for where all the spot welds are, how to best get them off without damaging, you know, the panel underneath and all that good stuff in the outer panel. I like to use the donor panel as that learning piece, and that's what these guys did. So you drill out all the spot welds, and now it's time to head over to the car and start thinking about how we're gonna be removing the bad metal from the car to replace it with this good metal. So over on the car, the guys know exactly what metal we have to, you know, replace and backfill all of these spots. They know where is a good spot to cut out and stuff like that. Oscar wants to cut some kind of viewpoint windows in here so he can take a look around. So you're gonna just go for a pretty big
window.
Big window so we can check it out. Go for it. So the guys cut a window so they could see what's going on, and we've got a really good idea of what's going on, and we need to pull on this. We need to pull this car. This is we need to do a body pull, not a frame pull, so it's lighter weight, but we need to pull this metal out. So we're gonna have to get crafty. We're gonna have to build something, get creative. That's gonna be fun. Until then, the guys have been working on the spot welds to remove the outer sheet of quarter paneling. So you can see they've got all the spot welds through there and those spot welds through there, and we're getting really close. We've got to remove this back window now. And I'm still working on that lower radiator support. Got the rear quarter glass all cut out, and I've showed you guys this tool before, but this is like my favorite tool for doing any of those glass, like in tricky, hard to reach areas. It's just a Harbor Freight like oscillating multi-tool thing, and then I grabbed a blade here. See if I can get the camera to focus on it. That'll focus a little bit better if I set it on something. Anyway, so I sharpened each edge of this blade here, so it's pretty sharp, so it can cut sideways, and then clearly it's got teeth in the front there, so it can cut forwards, and it does a really good job of getting that glass out of there, along with some of the other more traditional tools that we use. So that's all out of there. So next goals are to get this main piece of the outer skin off. We've made a dividing cut there, there, there. We got to make one there, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this whole piece off. Alright, damaged outer quarter panel sheet metal has been removed. Pretty cool looking to see the inside of this, the inside of the structure. All the metal, you know, from here forward is all good metal, and all of that under there is good metal until we get right back to here, and this is where we're gonna have to do our pull. So that's about as far as we're gonna go with the quarter panel on this today. Tomorrow we're gonna get set up, and we're basically gonna weld some stuff in there, and then we're gonna do a very nice, safe and controlled pull where we're gonna be pulling this metal out to straighten out this kink in here, and then we'll be able to apply our new quarter panel skin. So back over to the front, the second leg has been removed, and I've been test fitting our new lower piece. So this lower piece also came from Michael, whose YouTube channel I just shared earlier in the episode. We bought this from him. So this is a factory Toyota lower, and we're gonna go ahead and get it in here. To do that, I gotta go through, and so when we did these spot welds, it leaves a little bit of a high point when you do that, because it basically leaves the old metal there. So I gotta take the flap disc on the cutoff wheel and go ahead and, here, let me get this out of the way. So you can see these spots are basically creating pressure. They're too far out. So I gotta smooth all of that out, give everything a good coat of paint so it doesn't rust, and then I'm gonna be drilling where we wanna weld on this piece right here. So like, I know, I'm just gonna follow exactly what Toyota did. I know that they did one here, and one here, and I'll be drilling all those holes, and then I'll show you guys it all test fit up in here. Then I will go ahead and weld it into our frame rail permanently. All right, we've got the two frame rails cleaned up, and then you can see I hit it with a little bit of Steel It Gray. You need to hit it with some sort of a protective paint. Also, you want it to be weld through, so Steel It's pretty much the perfect candidate for this. Reason being is, although we are welding this to that in a lot of spaces, air and liquids and stuff will get in between the two, and if you have bare metal, it would take a very long time, but eventually it would rust and be a very, very bad thing to have happen in your frame rail. Think about the structure of that you need. You don't want holes rusting in it. That'd be super dangerous. So you got to make sure if you're following along at home that you get a nice layer of weld through protective paint on there. And then from the factory, this is kind of weird, but you can see this factory black strip goes halfway through the frame rail. We're going to re-emulate all of this. I've got the factory silver paint as well, so everything will get kind of painted back to match like it was from the factory, but this piece from factory is black, so of course painted it black with the Steel It Black, and that's gonna be good. So now I just go ahead and fit up the piece. Got to make sure I fit it exactly where it came from, or else the radiator won't fit in here right, and it'll start a really bad chain reaction of everything being off. So it goes exactly where it came from, which isn't that hard because you have a lot of guide holes to match you up, and then tack weld it in here. All right, Oscar got here just in time to handle the welding. Obviously expensive, important welding I let Oscar handle. I mean, I am capable of doing a spot weld, but he's better, so why not? All right, so we got that all welded in there. I think what I want to do now is go ahead and hit these rails with the appropriate black lining. So we're just going to do like a cardboard, because you see it's not a hard mask. So we're just going to use some cardboard, hit it with black going through here, and then that'll help us cover up our weld spots as well on the lower radiator support. So we'll do that on both sides, and then we'll start teeing up the upper radiator support, core support. Upper core support test fit, fits right in, nice and snug. So you can see when I pull this back that we've got the old metal there. Again, didn't want to cut too much off, so now we know exactly what we can take off. Just drilling out more spot welds, name of the game today. So we're gonna go ahead and drill all these spot welds out on both sides so this thing can slot into place. All right, we got the old metal off of here. That was really easy. And then you can see as we like kind of swing this down, it fits up really nicely in there. And we know where it goes. We've got all our indicators based on the one that we took off. So this piece has primer on it. That's what this black stuff is. It needs to be silver. From the factory, our other one, which is kind of way back there in storage, it was silver, so we need to make it silver. So I went and bought the silver paint that goes right here. It's this color of silver paint. So we're gonna go ahead and spray this piece up real quick and drill our holes so we can have, like, this was where the factory spot welds were, and we're gonna drill all our holes so we can have our spot welds back and a nice little silver piece that's ready to go in the car. Kind of got our miniature setup going. We have like a little tiny Harbor Freight air compressor and a tiny Harbor Freight detail gun, but those two things can get some serious work done. You can see that we've got a great coating now of this factory silver paint over this piece, and we also did the headlight bracket as well. So this is the welding piece. Headlight bracket is a bolt-on piece that bolts to this and other things inside the car. I'm gonna go ahead and get this now situated on here. I just love how it looks. It looks so good. I'm gonna get this situated into the car and weld it in. Got that upper core support fully welded in, fits like a glove. I'm really happy with that turned out. The only thing about it though is the silver color kind of missed the mark. So usually, I'm just gonna say usually, car manufacturers, that's the old one, new one, car manufacturers will use just the base coat to spray the rest of the engine bay and different things like that. This one has a mixture of primer and then some other gray color. I would not call this a silver because it has no metallic in it. It might be just the exterior color without a metallic, but it is clearly not the same as this color. You can see how much brighter this color is. So I want to match this. The Steel It Gray, this is what Steel It Gray looks like alongside of the normal gray. It's close, but it's not as close as I would like to be, and I would really like to match the factory color exactly. So if anybody knows how to figure out what this paint coat is, if not, I'll just go get a close, I'll get a sample taken, but if anybody knows and could link it in the comments or shoot me an email, I'd like to know the actual paint code to be able to buy this color of gray that they use in the engine bay of this Supra. Most popular color of Supra, so it shouldn't be impossible to find out, but for now, just consider this base coat. Next piece I'm going to go ahead and install is our last piece of supportive metal. This is what they call a headlight bracket. I think it should be called a bumper bracket because that's where your bumper clips in. But this is a bolt in and out piece, so I'll go ahead and bolt it in. Alright guys, the headlight bracket is on, and next I want to go ahead and throw in the radiator. Might be a bit of a test fit, maybe a final fit, I'm not really sure. Mishimoto sent us the good stuff. We've got their MK4 Supra radiator and their electronic fan and fan shroud package. Really cool stuff. You guys know Mishimoto makes a lot of great cooling products that we have on a lot of our builds here, and they make really good stuff at a really economical price, so check it out. I will put a link in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and get the radiator out, attach the fan shroud and fans to it, and then we'll go ahead and set it inside our new core support. All right, that looks really good. Fits super snug. That's really cool. Huge thanks to Mishimoto for hooking us up with cooling products on this build. We really do appreciate it. Lots more room for activities now that we don't have that clutch-driven fan in there. So next thing we're gonna do is get the car kind of back in the center of the room, our normal working space, and throw a bunch of accessories on here. Front bumper, fender, hood. See how it all looks as a package. Look at that! Zip tied on a few parts and it's looking like a car again. Pretty cool. The headlights are just test fit in there, but yes, we did get some brand new headlights from Toyota. We have the OEM fenders here, but we just wanted to throw that on because it already had holes in it and everything. But really cool. We got the front end rebuilt. I'm really happy about that. Next episode, we're gonna get that quarter panel finished out, get some new wheels, tires, suspension on here. Woo, it's coming together. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you very shortly with another episode on this Supra.